You say it without thinking, but the moment the words leave your mouth, the whole body reacts. It's not just about what you said, it's about what they felt. Praise words. Good boy, good girl, clever muffin of delight. Dogs live for approval. If they had a Tinder bio, it would just say, here for good vibes and validation. Oh gosh, so much validation. When you say good boy, you might as well launch emotional fireworks into your dog's heart. If you say the word good, their ears will prick up because they know what it means, and they are praying that the next word will be boy. But it's not because they actually understand the words good and boy or girl or dog. Spoiler alert, but that will be a recurring motive as we review this video. They understand the way you say it, the look on your face, and what happens next. So for example, every time you call them a good dog, you do so with a great big smile and a playful tone. Or at least I assume you do. It would be sociopathic and confusing to say good dog aggressively. And then after you've said good dog, it's often rewarded by heaps of attention. Be it a scritch behind the ears, a pat on the head, or even an offering of a little treat. So while your dog doesn't get what those words mean in the sense of understanding the dictionary definition, they know that every time those sounds come out of your mouth, it means attention and affection are coming their way. And they like that. And for those of you who like to be a rather creative pet parent to their precious pooch, never underestimate how goofy you can get. Because remember, they're not learning the actual words, they're learning the happy tone. So you don't have to say, who's a good dog? You can say, who's a magnificent loaf of fluff? Or who's the smartest nugget in the tri-state area? Because it's not the actual words that matter. It's the tone, the energy, the feeling. This theme will recur throughout this video, so remember that. Play triggers. Ball, walk, squirrel. The second category of words that dogs remember with ease is anything that you use as a trigger for play. These words, they don't just spark joy, they trigger events. You say walk, and suddenly your dog vibrates like an unlicensed blender, spinning in circles and doing parkour off the couch, because they know what comes next. Say ball, and you've got a retriever doing trigonometry in his head, trying to predict trajectory, wind resistance, and bounce, because they know what comes next. Just like praise words, what your dog learns is not the word itself, but the tone you say it and the memories of what comes next. Because every other time you've said those words, it has been followed by fun. And your dog loves fun, because spoiler alert, they're a dog. And these words are reliable predictors of excitement. They freak out when they hear walkies for the same reason we humans might freak out when we hear or see phrases like happy hour and your order is out for delivery. Dogs associate specific sounds with thrilling outcomes. When they hear them, their nervous system goes into joyful overdrive. Want to put this to the test? Try whispering walk just to see if your dog has super hearing. Then watch the instant zoomies commence. Food-related words. Treat, dinner, want a snack? Let's not lie to ourselves. If the way dogs learn words is less about them learning the words and more about them learning the vibe of what's going down when the word is said and having positive memories of what comes next, then of course related words are something they latch onto. Your dog understands the word treat. In fact, if there were a canine version of Shakespeare's Hamlet, the iconic line would be changed to treat or not to treat. That is not even a question. Hand it over. Food-related words light up the same parts of their brain that light up ours when someone says free pizza or complimentary breadsticks. Words like dinner, hungry, do you want a cookie, and grandma's here, and she has chicken. When they hear those words, it's always followed by feeding time. So all that activates the something delicious is about to happen center of their tiny, enthusiastic minds. For example, you can test if your dog knows the word walk by saying it quietly and seeing how they react. Try saying treat near a cupboard. You might summon your dog from 3 rooms away, like a fluffy food-seeking tornado. Greetings. Hi, I'm home. Good morning. Hopefully, you're getting this now. If a word is associated with good vibes and rewards, your dog will come to recognize the sound of that word because they enjoy the vibes and rewards. And is there any vibe more exciting than a greeting with someone you've missed? Think about it. They've been home all day while you've been slaving away at work. and they've been stuck in the house without the one thing they love the most, you. Sure, it's been fine because you do not doubt them. A wonderful home full of wonderful toys to keep them company when you're stuck at a desk in the office or behind a till in a shop. But if dogs had a religion, the sacred moment of worship would be when their human walks through the door. You could be gone for 3 weeks or 3 minutes. Either way, when you burst through the door and say, "I'm home," or "Hey, buddy," it sets off their formal celebration protocol. Your voice, your smell, your words, they're all cues that their world just snapped back into perfect alignment. So it's time to bark and bounce with joy. Also, dogs are big on morning routines. Say good morning in your pre-coffee groan, and your pup's like, "Yes, the ritual begins. Kibble, cuddles, possibly park. Let's frickin' go!" Their reaction to greetings is about more than just excitement. It's about what I call the 3 R's: reconnection, reassurance, and ritual. You're saying hi to them in their version of hearing. All is well, we are together again, and so it is time to jump on your legs with joy. Let's go! Commands: come, sit, let's go. So if all word learning for dogs is based around packages of terms, another category is any command, your classic obedience stuff. This is for the same reason as all the other things on this list, but also because you've nailed that training process. Because of how well dogs respond to terms like sit or roll over, or if you put the effort in, play dead. But here's the thing, dogs don't learn the meaning of those words like humans do. Like the other things on this list, they learn them through repetition, tone, and outcome. If you say sit enough times in a firm but always friendly voice, your perfect pooch will come to know what that word means. And if you offer them a treat or scratch behind when you do, well, that will only speed up the process. Again, do they know what the word sit means? No, they don't. But when they hear the word sit, they think, this sound means put butt on ground and good things happen. If you say come, they'll know. Oh, if I run to them, there might be food. If you say let's go, they'll think that's the sound that means adventure is imminent, possibly with sticks. As you've probably guessed by now, your words don't matter half as much as how consistently they're paired with outcomes. Names. Theirs, yours, and everyone who has ever handed them bacon. You know your dog knows their name. They respond to it with ease. They know their name so well, they probably know their name better than your extended family knows yours. Say it with a smile, and their ears perk up like satellite dishes. But it's not just their name they've heard. Say the name of someone they adore. Watch them go full Scooby-Doo head tilt. If you say, "Grandma is here," you might notice their tail spinning. If you say, "Uncle Toby is on his way," they might unleash a sudden bark of joy as they race for the door. Some dogs even learn the names of other pets in the house. Names are social glue. Dogs recognize them not just as words, but as people-shaped sources of meaning. A name is like any other word. If a dog hears it enough, they will know it mainly through repetition and association with the following emotions. So yes, they might see your ex's name and hopefully they hate them just as much as you do. Emotional phrases. I love you. It's okay. You're my best friend. Dogs may not speak English or Spanish or Malaysian or French or Gallifreyan, but as you probably know, they speak fluent vibes. If you say I love you softly, lovingly, they will feel it. Say it's okay when they're scared, and your calm tone becomes their anchor. Say you're my best friend while rubbing their ears and looking into their eyes, and they'll look back like, I know, same. Fun fact, research shows that dogs' heart rates slow down when hearing their owner's voice in a soothing tone. Because, as I've been saying, you could say anything. Even quantum mechanics is the study of wave-particle duality. And if your tone is warm and affectionate, your dog will melt into a puddle at your feet. Because for them, it's not just about the content of your words. It's about the connection they feel when hearing them. But how do you know if your dog feels loved? These 3 subtle signs will surprise you. Watch this next.